My technology integration project was titled Exploring Explorers, and we are discovering explorers through research, technology, and avatars. This lesson was intended to cover fourth grade Georgia Performance Standards for Social Studies. Specifically, this lesson covered SS4H2. The student will describe European exploration in North America through the explorations of John Cabot, Vasco Nunez de Balboa, Juan Ponce de Leon, Christopher Columbus, Henry Hudson, and Jacques Cartier. Students will work in small groups or partners for this lesson. Each small group or partnership will be assigned one of the explorers depicted in the standard. Students will complete research to discover information about each explorer, and then they will present their information to the class. This lesson implements the jigsaw method. Each small group will become an expert on their particular explorer. Once they feel confident with the information they have learned, they will then present it to the remainder of the class, essentially becoming the teacher. For this lesson, students will use BlendSpace to complete and organize their research. This Web 2.0 tool allows students to utilize various search engines within the original web page. Resources can then be organized and saved for later use. After research has been completed, students will then use Voki to create an online avatar. The avatar must look as similar as possible to their specific explorer. Students will also write a dialogue written in first person for their avatar to speak for the presentation portion of the lesson. At the beginning of the lesson, some whole group activities will take place. However, the majority of the activities were completed in each small group. Students created several artifacts or products during the implementation of this lesson. The first artifact students completed was their online research through the BlendSpace website. BlendSpace allows the students to organize and later reference the research if needed. This is one example of a student's BlendSpace page. They utilized YouTube videos and online articles and anything else to help them answer their research questions. The second product created was the student's interviewer Voki. This Voki was created to help students navigate the website prior to creating their Explorer Voki. The third product created was the student's final Voki, the Explorer Voki. So I'm going to show you an example of one of their interviewer Vokis.
What country are you from? When did you die? Who sponsored your trip? Did any of your ships sink? What was your ship's names?
That was an example of an interviewer Voki. They were allowed to be as creative as they wanted to with the look, and we just had them asking their research questions. Here's a second example.
When did you die and when were you born? Also, where were you from?
Here are some examples of the Explorer Vokis. They were similar to the interviewer Vokis, except that they had to make them look as similar to their actual Explorer as possible. I have those examples pulled up.
My name is Henry Hudson. I was born in London, England in 1565. I asked the Dutch East India Company if I could go on a voyage. My goal was to find a northern passage through Asia. Where I explored was Greenland, New York, the coast of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick and Newfoundland. The ship's names that I travelled in was Half Moon in 1609 and Discovery in 1610. I died the 12th of June 1611 when I was 46.
And my last example of the Explorer Voki.
My name is John Cabot. I was born in Liverpool, England. I asked King Henry VII if he could sponsor me to find a new trade route through Asia and Europe. I sailed on a ship called the Matthew. I used a metal compass to help find my way. I ended up claiming Newfoundland, Canada for England. On my second voyage, my ship sank. All of my crew members and I sank into the sea and died. The year I died was 1499 and I was 49 years old.
So not only did the students have to research the information, they had to write that information in a first-person dialogue for their vocee to then say in their presentation. Prior to implementing this lesson, I was extremely nervous as to my students' performance throughout this project. Prior to this lesson, they had never completed research online over an extended period of time. I anticipated that I would have to do a lot of scaffolding and assisting throughout the process. However, in actuality, I assisted very little. The students generally only needed my help when internet connectivity issues arose. Otherwise, they worked very well with their partners to problem solve any issues related to the research or the creation of the vokeys. The most stressful part was internet connectivity and speed. Prior to the implementation of this lesson, our internet had been intermittent at best. Therefore, my biggest fear going into this lesson was that we would have no internet connection and would have to use books to complete the necessary research. However, when we were actually working on the lesson, we were able to finish the research and the kids completed the projects without any major issues. The students worked very well in their partner small group setting, and I'm very excited and proud of the work that they were able to accomplish through this project.